Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. What I want to talk to you guys about today is how to use giant baits. I mean, truly giant baits to your advantage. But first, a quick update for you guys. Depending on where you live, if you're anywhere in the U.S., odds are you've heard about some of the crazy flooding going on out here in California right now. You know, Lake Orville, they're talking about the dam possibly failing, evacuating vast numbers of people. We personally have not been impacted by that. Tim and I and our families are doing just fine. But you will potentially see a little bit less of Tim for a little while because of his job. As law enforcement, he may be over there involved in some of that stuff for a bit. So you're not going to see him in front of the camera as much as normal. But you will see him soon enough, and he's still doing a lot of the editing. He just doesn't have the time to be on the water like normal. He's going to miss some of that great spring fishing, unfortunately. Then here at Clear Lake, I don't know if you can see Clear Lake out there in the background, but here at Clear Lake, we're also dealing with some really high water. A lot of localized flooding here. They actually closed the lake for a little bit. Again, not the end of the world. It's just something that you just go with the blows as they come, right? One of the blessings with what we do is that we have an incredible amount of freedom, just like living in this country, an incredible amount of freedom. Unfortunately, Clear Lake being shut down has impacted me as a guide, obviously. It's impacted a lot of homeowners, but because we have that freedom, we have the opportunity to go to other lakes, find other patterns. So I'm actually coming back from another lake right now. That's why we got Clear Lake in the background, just coming down the grade, going home. So you may be seeing us on some other fisheries here for a little bit as well while the lake is shut down, finding new bites, exploring new water, and that brings me back to these giant baits. Because what I want to talk to you guys about today is when you go to a new lake, it can be very overwhelming, especially if it's a lake that you're not familiar with. So I want to talk to you guys about a trick that you can use to immediately locate fish in a lake. Now, it has to have a little bit of clarity, right? If it's a blown out mud hole, there's not much that you can do. But if it's got 5 or more feet of visibility, this works so well. What I want you guys to do is buy just one big swim bait. And I'm not talking YouTube big. I'm not talking like a little 4-inch bait or a 5-inch bait or a 6-inch bait that somebody calls giant. I'm talking about a true giant swim bait. This is a 10-inch mag draft. It's a mega bass bait, fairly inexpensive as big baits go. This is as small as I would go. Something like the 303 Gancraft jointed claw, full 12-inch bait, giant bait. The other one that works extremely well is the Osprey 12-inch. So built a lot like the mag draft, but quite a bit bigger. What you do with these baits, now, so far you're completely zoning out, if I had to guess, because you're hearing giant baits and you're thinking there's no way. But I want you to understand what this is for. I'm not trying to tell you that you're about to go out to your local lake and catch a 15-pounder. You may live in a place where a 5-pounder or a 4-pounder is a giant fish. That's okay. I am still talking to you. What we do with these huge baits, when you go to a new fishery or to a fishery that you haven't been on for a while, start with the monster. Tie on a 10 to 12-inch swim bait and something that is slow sinking. That's why I chose these 3, the Osprey, the mag draft, or that big Gancraft. Because these baits are massive and they stay high in the water column. So what you're going to do is you're going to go out to your lake, tie on the biggest bait that you can, and you're just going to start covering water. The reason that you do that is that bass, by nature, are curious. Now, a 15-pounder might eat this. And quite frankly, a 2-pounder might eat this. But you're not trying to catch a bunch of 2-pounders when you throw this. But what you do, whether your lake has 2s, 5s, 10s, 15s, doesn't matter. You throw that bait and you keep it high in the water column. Because bass are naturally curious, they will come out of the woodwork to have a look at that bait. Not to eat it, just to see it. They come incredible distances. Because of that, you also want to go with bold colors. White. Something like this. Although this is sort of a ghost color, when it actually gets hit with light, a ton of luminescence comes out of the side, gets really bright in the water. Something like that really stands out. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to let them see it from as far away as possible. Now, you're not trying to get bit. You're just trying to pull those fish in. If you get up and you parallel shore on a brand new lake or on a lake where you haven't been out lately, the biggest fish around will come up to see that bait. And the reason I'm telling you to throw a 10 to 12 inch bait or bigger, don't throw a 6-inch bait. If you throw a 6-inch bait, you will pull fish up, but you'll pull them from maybe 5 feet away or 10 feet away. Whereas if you had thrown a 12-inch bait in the exact same place, you might pull them from 15, 20, 25 feet away. The area that you're covering effectively is much, much broader. And those fish will immediately come up, look at the bait, you'll see them, and then they disappear. They're not there to eat it necessarily. Now, it's a bonus. If one of them takes a shot and you start catching fish, awesome. That's a bonus. Take it to the bank. But if they don't, what you're doing is simply exploring. You're giving it a once over. You will raise the big fish. You will. And you will see where the biggest bass in your lake live, where they're currently sitting, which direction they're coming from. And then you can come back with your confidence baits, fish those with confidence, know that you're on the biggest fish around, and dial that fishery in fast. This allows you to cover so much water. You know, when you get out on a new body of water, it can take you a week, 10 days to really get dialed in. But if you can run a giant bait with a little bit of visibility, 2, 3, 4 hours, maybe a day if it's a big, big lake, you have seen where the giants are. And by day 2, you are dialed in. Now it's a matter of figuring out how to catch them. But knowing that you're on top of them, that's already done. I hope that helps you guys. I hope that makes sense. Down in the video description, I'm going to give you links to these baits. Get a big bait. Don't buy a bunch of them. You're not trying to get piles of bites on a 12 or a 14-inch bait. You are trying to draw fish out so that you can turn around and come back with a jig or a jerk bait or whatever your reaction bait might be, or whatever your confidence bait might be. Come back in and catch those fish on the second pass. It's going to save you a ton of time and allow you to really see what lives in your lake. I hope that helps you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you soon.